Hello everyone, you're welcome back to EyTrudy. Of course, if you're seeing my face for the first time, my name is Eya, and this channel, of course, is all about well-being, your wellness and all of that. And lately life has been lifing, so hence why we've not put out a video in recent time, because we have been caught up busy moving house, and yeah, but we are here now. And if you have been following along on our series on our A to Z on well-being, okay, you would know that it's all about breaking down the simple, realistic ways you can look after your mental health, you can look after your mind, you can look after your body without kind of needing to kind of do like a whole lifestyle overhaul. So it's just about gentle living, okay? And today we are treating our letter N, which for us stands for nature. Okay, we've already said that we are pro-nature and always will be. So now, before you think, today we are going to be trying to give you some advice on how to abandon civilization and all of the AI and move into maybe the forest, into a cabin in the woods. No, that's not what's going to happen today. But eventually, let's be honest, most of us spend our days surrounded by concrete, fluorescent lights, blue screens, and even the traffic noise as well. And of course, the constant scrolling of our phones. And we kind of get caught up in the daily grind, the busyness of our world, that sometimes we completely forget that we are actually a biological creature. We are actually a higher being like animals, okay? We are actually a biological creature that is actually designed to coexist in nature and earth, okay? So in this video, we are going to be talking about why nature literally is the ultimate reboot button for your mental health and your mental well-being, and how to even kind of bring in the micro doses of nature into your everyday life, into your busy schedules, and maybe even like a beginner-friendly kind of a challenge on how to start getting outdoor, maybe through the weekend, through the weekdays, and spend time more in nature as well. So you might even be wondering, why nature? I've said it before, we are biological beings, okay? Did you know that there was a research by WHO that actually described nature as our greatest source of health and well-being? And if you ask me, that's pretty big statement. That's a pretty big statement to say that nature is kind of our source of mental well-being, okay? But look at it this way. When you say nature, this isn't just like a massive forest or maybe like distant mountains, okay? It's all about the entire ecosystem of our existence. It comprises of like the oceans, the animals, the stars in the space, everything you can think about, okay? And what I could say is this: spending time in nature can actually lead to kind of lower levels of chronic stress. And spending time in nature can also reduce your cortisol, which is the stress hormone. It can improve your cognitive performance. It can even better your physical health. And it can even lower your rates of anxiety. There is that calm feel that comes from just nature watch, like observing nature or spending time in nature. Think about how maybe, say for example, after spending hours in an air-conditioned office and also spending hours scrolling through the emails and your social media, you would always feel like this, your brain is like, you're tired, you're exhausted, you feel like a brain fog. But the moment you step outside, for maybe even if it's just for 10 minutes for a fag, and you take like a deep breath, okay? And maybe you are now observing a tree, you look at a tree, suddenly you have like a perspective shift, okay? You have that refreshing feel that comes from just being in nature, okay? There is a quote from Andy Frank, okay, which says that Nature is the solace of all trouble. Nature opens your mind and your heart. It reminds you of the bigger picture so that you aren't always completely consumed by your daily worries. Okay? If you even look at it, we are just a fraction of the bigger ecosystem as well. Okay? So, what I would say is, how then do you go on to start creating micro kind of nature to bring in into your daily habits, micro nature? You might be saying, okay, I hear you, that sounds great, okay, but the reality is that I work a 9 to 5 in a big city and I don't live in a countryside. How then do I infuse nature into my life, okay? You don't need a national park in your backyard, okay, to get these benefits that comes from just spending time with nature, okay? You can build maybe tiny pockets of nature anywhere, maybe for your daily kind of mental health boost, okay? So I would say step one would be to step away, okay? Say, for example, step away on your lunch break. Instead of eating on your decks while you are also staring at your emails, okay, you can walk to the nearest green park to your office, okay, just spend maybe like 15 or 20 minutes outside can actually go on to lower your stress in a noticeable way for the day. The other one would be what I would describe as a Dex house plant. It's usually a small plant, okay? You can put a plant on your decks or a windowsill, okay? Having a living greenery in your immediate view reduces your mental fatigue. This is already been proven by science. Just by staring at something natural always in your sight, in your view, can reduce your mental stress, okay? And there's another one, maybe like bird watching as well. This is more like if you had like a bird feeder, small window side bird feeder, you can stop by maybe a minute or two during your busy day just to observe the birds that had come to visit and also eat. You can even notice their feathers, their tiny maybe legs, okay? You can notice their movements as well. These things, just watching the bird feeding, okay, instantly reminds you of the lively universe, okay, happening around you, happening outside of your maybe your immediate concrete environment, okay. And it can also remind you that nature in itself, universe in itself, is a provider, okay. You don't have to always grind yourself. And if you want to even take it a bit further, you can go camping, okay? If you want to maybe even take these steps a bit further, you can go camping to spend time in nature and immerse yourself in nature, okay? By going camping, basically. So I know when you hear about camping, you can feel like, oh, it's a bit intimidating sometimes, especially if you've never gone camping before, okay? But what I would suggest is this: you don't need expensive items like expensive gear and maybe like survival skills or hardcore survival skills to be able to go for camping. Here are maybe how to keep it simple things you can do, okay, just to get going and get spending time in the nature as well, which is, I would consider it beginner friendly as well. One is to keep it local. If you're going for camping, you can keep it local and short. Book maybe like a weekend trip somewhere that is very close to your house, and when the weather also looks great as well, the weather is good, because you don't want to be driving like 8 hours to get to the campsite and maybe 8 hours afterwards to come home. That would even be exhausting on its own, okay, planning the trip. And you can also go on to kind of borrow some of the gears or use like campsites that already have like their tents already set up, okay? Because I do know that many campsites already have like their tents set up, okay? And you can just maybe just borrow equipment from maybe friends and co-workers, and you don't have to buy a lot of things because you're going for camping, okay? And more than anything, you can go for camping with friends, okay? Because what happens is that when you get there, setting up the tent, putting things away can become like a team effort as well, okay? And what I would say is that the moment your tent is all set up, okay, you can then take a walk in nature, okay? and just step out and observe the environment, immerse yourself in the beauty of the nature. Okay, you can cook a lovely meal as well and eat it while the sun sets. Okay, and watch the sunset. And you can even at night, instead of scrolling through your phones, you can even count the stars or just talk to someone who is just sitting next to you. So basically sleeping in a different environment just under the canvas, okay, without the television screen, you would start hearing the birds. You would even hear the leaves. You can also hear the winds. And instead of maybe even staring at your phone till midnight, okay, you can always look up to the sky and appreciate what nature truly is, okay? And maybe even you can take that moment to have meaningful conversation with the people in your lives as well, if they are participating in the campaign with yourself, or even meaningful conversation with yourself as well. Okay, so basically what this video is all about is to encourage nature, pro nature. And there's also an aspect of this video I want to also talk about, which is like nature preserving as well. Okay, at the end of the day, nature isn't just something you just look at. Okay, it is something that nurtures us. And whether it is even a tiny plant on your decks, or even walking through a park, or even taking a lunch break outside and just taking in a fresh air, or even spending the weekend under the stars, camping away and making space for nature. Okay, nature is something that nurtures us, and it is something that we all should actively also try our best to protect. Be like a pro nature, try to protect the natural environment around you. Plant a tree today if you can, if you've got the space. Okay, so now, what I would say is that this brings us to the end of this video, okay? So, comment below if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe as well. You can even share with someone who kind of needs to kind of spend more time in nature, okay? And if you have been following our series, this is our A to Z of Wellbeing, and we have now treated our letter N, which is for nature, and the next letter is going to be our letter O. So just so you don't miss out on that video when it comes on, please, you can always subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get notified when we do upload that video, okay? And my lovelies, try your best during this summer and every other time to spend time in nature, okay? And see how that will impact your well-being, okay? And I will see you in our next video, okay? And I just hope I don't stay away for too long as I just did now, okay? Just like I said, it's been a busy time. We've been trying to move, and we are beginning to settle into our new home. We are not fully settled yet, but we are just adjusting. So yeah, I'll see more of you as often as I should, okay? At least once every other week, okay? So thank you so much for sticking around, and I'll see you in our next video. Thank you, my lovelies. Take care. Bye-bye.